What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? I come to you today with some sad news. I know I'm a little late. You guys have probably already heard the news, but I want to bring it to my tribe anyway. So today we lost a trailblazing comedian, Paul Mooney. He died at age 78 of an apparent heart attack. This is coming from the New York Times. Comic writer and performer was best known for his boundary pushing routines about racism and social justice, and for his work with Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle, right? Paul Mooney, the boundary. Well, I just read that part. Behind the scenes partner and contributor to In Living Color, and a performer and writer on Chappelle's show, died on Wednesday at his home in Oakland, California. If you knew Mr. Pryor's work, you probably knew Mr. Mooney's words. The two worked together in the short-lived 1977 variety series, The Richard Pryor Show. Pryor's Place in 1984. Pryor's Place in 1984. Mr. Pryor's unlikely attempt at a children's show, television specials, and the album and film Richard Pryor Live on the Sunset Strip. The autobiographical film JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling in 1986, which Mr. Pryor starred in and directed, and Mr. Pryor's 1975 appearance as host on Saturday Night Live. That episode included a now famous escalating racial insults job interview sketch with Chevy Chase, written by Mr. Mooney. In an interview with the New York Times in 2005, at 65, Mr. Mooney described himself as Mr. Pryor's black writer. Now, I know a few years ago, I believe he wrote his autobiography, so you can go check that out. As a writer in Living Color, Keenan Ivory Wayans' hit sketch comedy show, and had its premiere on Fox in 1990 with a predominantly black cast, Mr. Mooney was the inspiration for co-creator of Homie the Clown and less than jovial circus costume character who was forced to interact with children, part of his parole agreement, and usually end up frightening them. As a writer and performer on Chappelle's show in the early 2000s, Mr. Mooney played Negrodamus, which is actually hilarious. A turbaned mystic who foretold the future, Hillary Rodham Clinton's political prospects, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver's marriage, appeared as the expert in Ask a Black Dude, and reviewed movies alongside white female critics discussing Gone with the Wind. He revealed that Hattie McDaniel, who played the enslaved character known as Mammy, had been reincarnated as Oprah Winfrey for the money. Mr. Mooney's film roles included the singer Sam Cooke in the Buddy Holly Story, and Junebug, an old school stand-up comedian with equal amounts of dignity, integrity, and genius, in Bamboozle, Spike Lee's dark farce about a television network bringing back the minstrel show genre. Paul Mooney was born Paul Gladney on August 4th, 1941 in Shreveport, Louisiana. He moved with his mother and her parents to Oakland, where he was largely raised by his grandmother. Although some reports said that he had taken the stage surname from the Hollywood actor Paul Mooney, Muni, he corrected that in his 2007 memoir, White is the New Black. His family loved nicknames he wrote, and his grandmother just started calling him Mooney when he was a child. I'm not going to read the whole article, but it goes on to talk about how he met Richard Pryor in the 1960s at a party. They soon discovered that their personal lives were connected. Pryor was a self-loathing, drug-addicted genius, Mooney an industrious teetotaler, but they bonded over laughs and a distrust of white Hollywood. Teetotaler, for those who don't know, for the young people in the room, that means he didn't drink. Mr. Mooney continued his comedy career after Pryor's death, preserving his routines and documentaries and DVDs like The Godfather of Comedy in 2012. Complete information on survivors was not immediately available. Now, I'm not going to, a few years ago, he did write his memoir in 2007, and you can go read it. And he was very honest about who he was and relationships he had. So y'all go check it out. I'm not going to necessarily get into all of that here, but it's out there. Y'all can go find it. But definitely want to give much respect and give the flowers to Paul Mooney. You know, I'm sure with the wonderful world of YouTube, you guys can go find and go hear him speak, go hear his routines, go hear his jokes. He definitely was a comedian. I'm not gonna say ahead of his time because I feel like it caught up with him. But if you go back and listen to a lot of things from the 1960s, 1970s, go back and listen to a lot of what Richard Pryor was saying, knowing that a lot of that was written by Paul Mooney, you definitely understand the comedic genius that he was. Um, so I just want to send my condolences and continue to rest in power. King.